And much more at 7 o'clock. Stay tuned.
This is Marketplace. I'm Kai Risdall. There are, give or take, 4,500 publicly listed companies in the United States. There are a couple of hundred, maybe, that are household names. There is arguably one right now, though, that really, really matters. NVIDIA reports earnings Wednesday after the closing bell. Wall Street is pretty much expecting another blowout quarter from the premier designer of semiconductors that are used to develop and teach and run AI on computers around the world. And as Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman reports, all eyes are going to be on the company and what CEO Jensen Huang says for clues about that much-discussed AI bubble.
NVIDIA is the main game on Wall Street this week, with investors looking for revenue and earnings to be up more than 50% year over year. Dan Ives at Wedbush Securities is a well-known bull on NVIDIA.
NVIDIA is the foundation, not just of the tech world, not just of AI revolution, but I'd say the stock market.
That might seem a bit hyperbolic, but ever since the AI stock boom kicked off, Ives says NVIDIA's been way out in front, developing and supplying the chips powering the rapidly expanding technology.
It's starting off with trillions of dollars being spent on data center build-outs, GPUs, capacity. But where it's ultimately going, robotics, autonomous, it's year 3 of an 8 to 10 year build-out.
And where we are right now, year 3 is going strong based on the other tech earnings we've seen this quarter, says Angelo Zeno at CFRA Research.
Thus far, it's been most of NVIDIA's customers that have reported, right? The Microsofts, Metas, Alphabets, and Amazons of the world. And for the most part, we've seen in line to better than expected results.
How frothy the AI sector has become is giving some investors the jitters, says eMarketer's Jacob Bourne.
There is just rising concern that we're in this AI bubble. And NVIDIA is such a linchpin for the AI sector that it would be very much implicated in any kind of market correction.
Dan Ives, on the other hand, predicts continued growth and strength across the sector.
It's easy to call a bubble from the 25th floor of a New York City office building, but we're out there around the world, in Taiwan, in China, and trying to understand what demand looks like, and it's not a bubble.
Still, many Americans are increasingly worried AI will be a job killer. Angelo Zeno says in some ways it may be.
A lot of these junior level type jobs in a lot of different industries, AI in many respects can replace.
So companies may well cut workers to pay for the AI that could boost productivity for those who remain. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
Hey, when you go get a snack, what do you reach for? Do you go salty or do you go sweet? I ask because it may be time to add a third option to the mix. Sour. Demand, it seems, for sour foods is growing like crazy, as Mahira Rivers wrote about the other day in Taste. Mahira, it's good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
I would like you to begin, please, with these grapes that are coated with citric acid. I would like you to tell me about them, and then I'd like you to tell me why they exist.
Oh, they're wonderful. If you haven't had them,
I have not, and I probably will not, but go ahead.
Oh, I highly recommend them. They are quite delicious. And
wait, can I get them at my local Piggly Wiggly or what?
You know, I think you can. I think at this
okay.
point they are everywhere. So they should be accessible, but they are very simple. It's frozen fruit. It's a company called Fruit Riot. And what they do is they just coat it in, I believe it's a little bit of coconut oil, and then they add some citric acid, malic acid. And that's it. That's your snack. It's frozen. It's sour. It's visceral. You eat it and your mouth puckers, and it's really, really quite delicious.
Okay, well, you know, beauty in the eye of the beholder and all that stuff. But I will try. I promise you, I will try them. But I want to know why and where has come this tartness and sourness trend? Because this market is booming, as you say.
It is booming, and I see it everywhere. I see it on the internet. I see it in restaurants. And, I think that a lot of it has to do with a generation of flavor-curious diners who are going out and looking for new experiences. The other one I thought was just so interesting is that you have this highly engaged online audience, and it feels like it's somewhat of a one-dimensional interaction. You're staring at your screen, oftentimes you're isolated, but then you come across this visual of someone eating something sour, and it could even induce a response, a physical response in the viewer. So your mouth starts to water. So I think that, sort of tapping into that really engaging and at times extreme emotional and physical reaction can explain why this taste is taking off.
I had thought, though, that like sourness denoted that food had gone bad and was to be avoided, like historically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of the tension in the story.
Right.
And I think, that's sort of the beauty of fermentation. And I think for a long time, different cultures have explored with this boundary between repulsive and compelling. And, people have tried cheese and pickles and cured meats for generations. This has been staples of cuisines all over the world. And so crossing that border or going back and forth between that sort of questionable line is always existed.
Gutsy move, going back and forth between that questionable line. I do think it's interesting that in the popular culture, it has gone from candies and sweets mostly, right? Sour Patch Kids and Warheads and all those things, to now stuff for adults, right? And it's being actively marketed that way.
Absolutely. And I think part of that is a little bit of nostalgia. I think, millennials have aged into a buying demographic. And I am a millennial. And I remember growing up and just eating crazy sour candies as a child. And so these are absolutely things that I turn to again. But even elsewhere, like in cooking in the kitchen, you've got people using things like yuzu and kimchi and ingredients that are pantry staples in other cultures, but they're sort of like permeating the American pantry as well. And that's definitely appealing to an older audience.
There is a supply-demand thing here, right? The demand now is clearly rising, and companies are going to just start pumping out more of this stuff because companies are companies, right? So we're going to see more of it.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, even since I published the story, it seems like every big candy company is releasing an extreme sour version of something it had.
Extreme sour, because that's what we need.
Right, it is. I think so. Skittles just released something. I believe they have like a extreme sour version of an already kind of sour candy. And I feel like we're going to just be seeing this more and more in candy and even beyond. Like I know protein is a very hot topic right now. And I just recently saw protein bars that were sour protein bars. Wow. So I think it's really permeating a lot of different angles.
I have to go find some sour grapes. That's what I have to do right now. Mahira
I think
Rivers.
you'll like them. I don't.
All right. Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll call you back. Okay. And we'll talk about
Amazing.
It. All right. Mahira Rivers writing at Taste and about sour grapes and a bunch of other things. Mahira, thanks a bunch. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Marketplace is supported by Wealth Enhancement, offering its Wealth Blueprint plan through advisors nationwide. It integrates retirement, investing, taxes, and more into one plan. Learn more at wealthenhancement.com/build. And by Revenued, providing working capital for businesses whose cash flow is holding them back. Revenued approves businesses based on revenue, not credit, and funds can be approved and available in just one day. Visit getrevenued.com.
This final note on the way out today, in which Bitcoin proves not to be immune from the investing yips that seem to be stalking Wall Street. The granddaddy of cryptocurrencies lost another 2.5% today, trading below $91,500 at one point. Yes, that is still a whole lot of money for a, let's be honest, not entirely reliable store of value, much less a viable means of exchange. But it is a far cry from its high this year, just shy of $125,000 for one Bitcoin. Amir Babawi, Caitlin Esch, John Gordon, Noya Carr, Amanda Peacher, and Stephanie Seek are the Marketplace editing staff. Kelly Silvera is the news director. And I'm Kai Risdall. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. This is APM.
WNYC is supported by